A wealthy suburban family, a loving husband, a picture-perfect wife, and 2 innocent children. To the outside world, they had it all. But behind closed doors, there were secrets. Dark, twisted secrets that would lead to a crime so disturbing, it left an entire nation in shock. What happens when love turns into obsession? When trust turns into betrayal? And when a picture-perfect life becomes a ticking time bomb? Tonight, we will uncover the dark truth of a tragic affair which ended in murder. A tale of deceit, manipulation, and a horror act that nobody ever saw coming. Stay with me until the very end, because the final revelation will change everything you thought you knew. The Hendersons were the kind of family you'd envy. Living in an upscale neighborhood in Charleston, South Carolina, they seemed to have it all: a beautiful home, successful careers, and 2 adorable children. James Henderson, a respected real estate investor. Sarah Henderson, a devoted wife and loving mother. They attended church every Sunday, hosted backyard barbecues, smiled in every Christmas card. But behind the perfectly staged photos was a storm brewing. It started small. Late-night phone calls that Sarah couldn't explain. A tension between the couple that their friends started to notice. Sarah met him, Ethan Carter, a charismatic man with a dangerous past. Their paths crossed in the most unexpected way, and from that moment, everything changed. Sarah wasn't looking for trouble, but trouble found her. Ethan was charmed, attentive, everything James hadn't been in years. At first, it was just casual conversation, then stolen glances, then secret meetings at a motel just outside town. But what Sarah didn't know was that Ethan had secrets of his own. Dark, disturbing secrets that would turn their affair into a ticking time bomb. And James? He wasn't as oblivious as Sarah thought. One night he found a receipt, a single motel receipt in Sarah's car. That was the moment his doubts became certainty. His world perfect? Busted. And that's when James took a choice that would eventually bring about a night of utter horror. October 14th, 2019. A night that began just like every other, but ended in bloodshed. Sarah told James she was going to a book club meeting, but James knew better. He followed her. He watched from a distance as she met Ethan at the motel. And in that moment, something inside him snapped. At 10:37 p.m., a frantic 911 call was placed. The operator could barely understand the caller's words through the gasps and sobs. "There's blood everywhere. I don't know what happened." When police arrived at the motel, what they found was horrifying. A gruesome scene. Ethan Carter stabbed 17 times. And standing over his lifeless body was James Henderson, covered in blood. A knife still clutched in his shaking hands. But here's the twist, the real twist. James swore he never killed Ethan. And the evidence? Well, it didn't add up. At first, it seemed like an open and shut case. A jealous husband catching his wife in an affair, killing the man in a fit of rage. But the deeper investigators dug, the more the pieces didn't fit. For one, James had no defensive wounds. No bruises, no scratches. He fought for his life. And then there was Sarah. During interrogation, her tale of lies kept changing. At first, she said she wasn't there. Then she confessed that she was. And finally, the confession that turned everything upside down. Sarah was no innocent wife in this story. She had secrets too. Secrets darker than Ethan's. In a twist of fate, police discovered eerie messages between Sarah and Ethan. Messages that spelled out a fatal plan. Sarah had planned it all. The affair, the deception, and most eerily, the murder itself. Ethan was never the real target. James was. Sarah and Ethan had planned to stage a home invasion. To get rid of James, take his life insurance money, and start a new life together. But something went wrong that night. Ethan got cold feet. He backed out of the plan. And Sarah? She wasn't about to let that happen. Police uncovered surveillance footage. A shocking video of Sarah entering the motel room alone. Just minutes before the murder. Ethan never saw it coming. He was supposed to kill James. Instead, he became the victim. Sarah's trial was one of the most watched in the country. Prosecutors painted her as a cold, calculating mastermind. The jury took only 3 hours to decide her fate. Verdict? Guilty. Life in prison without parole. James, the man she tried to frame? He walked free. But he would never be the same again. As for the Henderson children, they were left to pick up the pieces of a shattered life. A family destroyed by greed, betrayal, and a love affair gone horrifically wrong. And that is the shocking truth behind this family's tragic affair. So now I ask you, was Sarah truly a criminal? Mastermind? Or was she just desperate and reckless? And what would you have done in James's place? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love true crime stories like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, stay safe. And remember, not everything is as it seems.